and the absolute genius that was Robert Redford. So let's start with an easy one. Have you got a favourite Robert Redford film?
Oh God, that's not an easy one because I'm such a big fan that I could name you probably half a dozen, really.
I mean, there's the obvious. Let's put a couple in the penalty box for starters, because there's obviously The Sting and primarily Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid.
Yeah, well,
which is not to say we're not going to talk about them because they are absolute masterpieces. In which case, Butch Cassidy. Why was that such a great film?
Well, it's the chemistry between the two of them, innit? Well, actually, I've got to say that probably William Goldman's screenplay has a lot to do with it.
Absolutely.
It is such a great screenplay. It's so sharp.
Yeah.
It's so clever. But then it did need two stars who obviously got on and there was proper chemistry between them.
Definitely.
Because the other, I mean, they weren't necessarily the first choices for those roles. I mean, people like Marlon Brando and even Patrick McGowan were suggested.
And I can't really see. I can see Brando, but not McGowan. As much as I'd love to see McGowan in that role, or one of the roles, obviously.
And I think Warren Beatty maybe at one point.
Can definitely see Warren Beatty. Yeah, I think Beatty and Brando were of that ilk, weren't they? But McGowan was a bit of an outsider.
Yeah, I don't think he's really a buddy type of a person.
And he would have, of course, have affected a sort of North American accent, which. I mean, I'm not detracting from him as an actor because, as you know, I'm a massive fan, but I don't know how well that would have worked.
No, I have heard him do an American accent. In fact, when he started in Danger Man, the original run of Danger Man, John Drake was American.
Oh, really?
So he did have an American accent in that, and it's okay. Right. It's not too bad, but whether he could have maintained it over a full film and it'd be convincing alongside other Americans, I'm not sure.
So Butch Cassidy, fantastic screenplay, amazing frisson between the two guys, proper bromance of a film, really.
Yeah.
And then they sort of did the unthinkable, I think, by lightning striking twice with a sting, which I think I might have seen as a kid, but didn't really mean much. And then I watched it properly, probably 4 years ago for the first time, and it's still a little bit confusing.
It is, but it does.
But it's great.
It relies on the chemistry between the two of them. But it's got a really great villain in Robert Shaw.
And of course, off the strength of that, he got Jaws, didn't he?
Yeah.
So
and same director as well as George Roy Hill.
Oh, really?
Did them both.
Oh, okay.
I believe so. Yeah.
That's good. So let's go on about some of the lesser known Robert Redford films before we inevitably turn to him as a director. What's your favourite? Non-Paul Newman.
Right. Well, I'm a big fan. I'm going to just push All the President's Men to one side for now because obviously that is a proper good film. And I'm also a huge fan of things like The Way We Were and Out of Africa.
Yeah.
But the film that really made me interested in Robert Redford, and I'm almost embarrassed to say it, is Legal Eagles.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Which I must confess I've never seen.
Right. I know that it's not really very good.
Yeah.
But it's just, it is what it is. It's really entertaining. It's not pretending to be anything other than a daft sort of rom-com, really.
Which is fine by me. I'm all that.
And that's all it is. And so it's one of those films that you can put on at any time and just sit back and let it wash over you, really.
Yeah.
But when I was 13-ish, I think, when I first saw it, and I just thought...
And that's the point, I think, when a lot of people, if you're going to be a film fan, 13, 14, 15 is when you really get to
exactly. Yeah.
So I think you're always going to have that point when you're in your formative teenage years where you kind of go, oh, hello, cinema, I quite like you.
Yeah.
And I quite like you as an actor or whoever you might be. And that's your benchmark, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
I always refer to it as the footprint in wet cement, that you kind of go back to that point where, your interest in film and cinema and filmmaking becomes solidified, if you like, almost.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just, malleable enough before it sets. So what do you think of him as a director?
Yeah, I think he's fine. And he's not particularly showy or anything. I mean, really, he probably should have directed more. There isn't that much to go at because it's weird because he was obviously, he set up the whole Sundance thing. Yeah. So you would think that he's interested in the way that films are made and whatnot. So you would have thought that he would have directed more than he actually did. He's not done the Clint Eastwood film so much, where he's sort of taken control of his entire career from a certain point.
Yeah.
Which I find slightly strange, really.
Did you ever see Ordinary People?
I have seen Ordinary People because obviously
Sutherland.
It's got another favourite of mine,
Yeah.
Donald Sutherland, in it.
Which was interesting because I was going to mention the fact that obviously we lost Donald Sutherland not so long ago.
Yeah.
I mean, it probably was a few weeks now, but I'd watched the interview. I think Mark Cousins had interviewed him.
The scene by scene.
Yeah, so he was highlighting that scene in Ordinary People where he suggested to the director, to Robert Redford, I don't think this scene quite works. And a few weeks later or whatever, they'd gone back and said, yeah, I think you're right. So they reshot it, a really basic setup. And you think, great, two guys at the top of the game, just, with a budget, reshooting a scene so it works for the greater good. Not that I've seen the film, but...
well, I have seen the film.
And it obviously works in context.
It really, really does work. And it's... what he does do, Redford, is that he gets a career best performance out of Mary Tyler Moore, who obviously at that point was known as a comedy actress, but she's really... She's the villain, sort of, in Ordinary People.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, no, it's not. You know right from the start.
Yeah,
she's not a very pleasant person. Timothy Hutton won an Oscar for his role in it. Judd Hirsch is in it, and he's great. Elizabeth McGovern has an early role in it. She's very good. But Donald Sutherland, I think, should have had an Oscar nomination for that.
Right.
I mean, he was known for playing quite outlandish characters, but he doesn't in this. He's a very sympathetic, ordinary person.
Ordinary people,
funnily enough.
Yeah.
A father, a grieving father, and he's just superb in it.
Okay.
And he obviously enjoyed the experience because he called his youngest son Angus Redford.
Oh, really?
Angus Redford Sutherland, yeah.
That well-known Christian name, Redford.
Yeah.
That's America for you. Well, obviously he was
Canada.
He was Canadian, but fascinating stuff. I've not seen a lot of Redford-directed films. I did watch Lions for Lambs, which was always a good question in a Tom Cruise quiz.
Yeah.
Name a Tom Cruise film, and very few people will go for Lions for Lambs.
Yeah, it'd be on Pointless. If you remember it when you're on Pointless.
I think that's probably where I probably remembered it from, actually, a few years ago. And I did watch it one Saturday afternoon, and it's
just all right.
It's okay. I'd hate to say pedestrian because that makes it sound less interesting than it is. It's a very it's a good talking point film about I think it's American politics, and it's an Ivy League film.
Yeah, it is a bit.
And I think what comes across with Redford, again, not to detract from his amazing legacy, he was the sort of guy you almost expect to see at Harvard. Giving a talk on something.
Yeah.
And it's very impressive and very intelligent. And at the end of the day, you don't know what he's gone on about. But having seen him give talks, he's obviously the smartest guy in the room. And you feel better for having seen it or listened to him. But it's not necessarily the most entertaining film. Cruise is great, Streep's great, and it's well put together. But I don't remember. I think I fighting sleep at one point, which is a shame because I think if he had maybe done more set pieces in his films, and I'm not saying he had to have like explosions and car chases and stuff, but just something a little bit more eye candy, whether it was some really memorable scene.
I think the films that he directed, if there's a theme to them all, it's that they're quite quiet.
Yeah.
I mean, something like obviously A River Runs Through It.
Yeah.
It looks great,
yeah.
But it's not big and showy. The Horse Whisperer, again, I really like The Horse Whisperer.
I forgot you did that.
But it's quite a quiet film. There's no...
One of Scarlett's first films, wasn't it? Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
When she was about 14 or something, which was amazing.
Yeah.
But, superstars start somewhere, and that's not a bad place to start. Sneakers was good. I quite enjoyed that. It was quite a good romp, high-tech romp. I think from the guys that worked on War Games a few years earlier, that was back in maybe 92.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
And what was interesting towards the end of his life, he kind of signed up for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which seemed a bit left field.
wasn't it to do with his grandkids?
Oh,
He wants
really?
to make something that his grandkids.
I always love it when that happens, because I think a lot more great actors should do that, just because why not appeal to the mainstream? And if the kids want to see it, then fantastic.
Yeah, that's it. Well, he introduced him to a whole
Yeah.
new generation, really.
Oh, yeah.
That.
I mean, there's a whole generation of Marvel fans probably haven't got a clue what Butch Cassidy was or the Sting. And of course, off the back of that, they wound up, discover like Alec Guinness back in the day.
That's it, yeah.
The amount of Alec Guinness films I saw just because of Star Wars,
Yeah.
and for him, he was in his 60s, and he thought, I don't need to do this. But thank God he did, because of course, like a lot of great actors, Ian McKellen. How many Ian McKellen films have people watched because of Lord of the Rings or X-Men or whatever, really? So yeah, I mean, if you had to say, watch one Robert Redford film that a lot of people probably wouldn't know about, what would it be?
Oh, that's a really good question. I would say Electric Horseman. Nobody has mentioned that at all.
That's a very good one, and I'd forgotten about. I think I probably watched that in 1982 when it was on TV on ITV, and I can still remember the photo in the TV Times, because it was quite visually, him in the kind of
in the suit,
lit up cowboy suit, which was great.
It very rarely gets shown on telly these days.
I bet it will do now.
I will, hopefully, yeah.
Like a lot of Redford films.
Yeah, there'll be a BBC 4 Thursday night job, I bet, eventually.
Definitely.
It's got Jane Fonda in it.
Right.
She's his love interest in that, and they were great mates off screen.
Yeah.
In fact, I saw Jane Fonda when her autobiography came out, which was
of course.
quite a while.
I remember you showed me the photo, actually.
Yeah,
which must have been fantastic.
It was great. So I went to the National Theatre in London to see her. She did a talk before the signing, and she was asked about Robert Redford.
Right.
And she said that she'd been in love with him.
Oh, yeah.
Because they were in Barefoot in the park together. He
Right.
briefly turns up in her film debut, The Tall Story, but he's not credited in it. But
okay.
His first biggish leading role was in Barefoot in the Park.
Which was late 60s, 67
67,
maybe?
Yeah. Pre-Butch Cassidy, anyway.
Right.
And she fell in love with him. She just thought he was gorgeous and amazing and all the rest. And then they kind of worked together over the years. About
40 years ago, when I used to live in the Midlands, because we lived near the Welsh border, and I say near, maybe 70, 80 miles, you could pick up HTV if you pressed a certain channel. And in the days of 3 TV channels, getting an extra channel was like manna from heaven. So I vaguely remember watching a very staticky version of Barefoot in the Park, along with the incredible Melting Man one day as well, which was just amazing. I mean, obviously these days, when you can watch pretty much anything you want to at any time, I don't think people realise how magnificent it was just to get something like that. So I need to give that another look. Was that Neil Simon?
It is Neil Simon, yeah.
Which is, let's face it, any Neil Simon film is worth a look.
It's interesting to see, because it is an out-and-out comedy as well. It's not... not comedy drama. I suppose it is a romantic comedy, although it starts with them and they're already married, so there's no sort of are they going to get together kind of thing. It's more like, are they going to stay together?
Right.
But yeah, it's good. And it's good to see him doing proper comedy as well.
Right.
He'd played that role on Broadway beforehand.
And what was he in his 20s then?
He would have been. He'd have been just 30.
He's 89 now. This was 67.
Yes, he was born in 1936. So when he was on Broadway, he would have been 29, 30.
Oh, really? So quite late in the day. Well, relatively late.
He didn't become a star until quite late in the day, really. But I don't think people did so much then. I mean, Clint was 40 when he was making Dirty Harry and that. So
I think we're so used to child stars like Scarlett Johansson, or becoming quite famous quite early. Leo DiCaprio, as a kid. Getting the big breaks early on, and then you've got a bunch of actors, of course, that didn't get into the game until a lot later, like Morgan Freeman, for example. Yeah,
I mean, and sort of Robert Redford's contemporaries like Jack Nicholson. Yeah, he didn't become a star until the late 60s either. After Easy Rider.
Right.
So there were Warren Beatty were a bit earlier. But
he
is literally a dying breed, isn't it? There's not that many of them left now, really.